Hi, good evening. So I've been told I'm to sit in this or stand in this box, but since we're in an innovation conference, I think I need to step out of the box, right? Or at least think out of the box. So what I'm going to talk to you guys today about is the APs of entrepreneurship, okay? Because you're going to listen to a lot of talks today, and there are going to be so many things that you probably won't remember anything. And I remember from back in B school, the 4 P's of marketing, the 5 forces of Porter. So we got to give something that lets you guys remember. And I think that's actually something when you guys tell your stories to the rest of the world, find something that helps people remember your story. Okay. Actually, how many people here are entrepreneurs? Can you guys raise your hands? How many startup founders? Okay, decent size, but I thought there'd be more of you. So a little bit about me. I've been in entrepreneurship for over 20 years. I founded 4 venture-backed companies and a few that weren't venture-backed. And I've worked in large companies and small companies. I've invested in VC and strategic investments. I run a large consortium of investors as well as a large VR-related business right now. So enough about me, but I just want to let you know I've been in your shoes. I've done a lot of things that you will soon do or you have already done. So this is kind of my consolidation of 8 things that you should think about before starting to be an entrepreneur, or maybe as you're going to become, or as you go through your journey of being an entrepreneur. So the first thing is passion, or purpose. Sorry, purpose. So I think before you start looking at a problem to solve and the teams to bring together, you really have to look at yourself. I think you have to understand who you are, what do you stand for, why are you here on this earth, what do you want to accomplish with your life. Once you've done that, that then gives you the foundation to do the other things that you want to do. Right? It will give you the structure of knowing, okay, is this problem I'm trying to solve, is it aligned with my purpose as a person? Right? Whether you're trying to help people be more educated or you're trying to help get people to travel more. Whatever your purpose is, you need to find that purpose and then put your company and your technology, your products behind that. So next thing is the problem. I don't have to spend too much time on problem, but I think a lot of other speakers will talk about this as well. The key is really find a problem that is really painful. Don't find a problem that is sort of a aspirin, it's like the aspirin versus the vitamin question. So make sure you're solving something that is painful and something that people will pay for. Now comes the passion. So passion is key because once you've found your problem, you need to become the world expert in solving that problem. Okay? Read every single book you can, attend every conference you can, meet every person who are already experts in that space, and become smarter than them. Okay? Once you've done that, then you actually will find a solution to this problem that is real. Because a lot of times people don't do enough research and they think they have a solution. Just because they saw a movie or saw an article or heard a friend talk about something, or there's like this big thing called blockchain, you should go invest in that. Right. Don't do it just because somebody else is doing it. Do it because you really have passion for that problem that you're trying to solve. And positivity is really key because it's a long journey, and it can be 3 years, 5 years, 20 years to make a successful company. And in between, shit happens. A lot of shit happens. Everything that will go wrong, that can go wrong, will go wrong, and you need to stay positive during that entire time. Right? But the thing is, you also need to make sure that you see the downside, that you see what are the potential risks and get around them, even though you're positive and staying positive to your team and to your investors, but you need to understand the risk and prepare to get around those issues before they become issues. And of course, people, right? You cannot create a company by yourself. You cannot be successful by yourself. You have to build a team. And you have to build a multifaceted team that solves problems for you at different areas. Don't get people that are like you. Don't get people that are your clones. Get people that really believe in solving the problem that you want to solve, but have different skill sets than you do, who can supplement the weaknesses you have. Right? I think a lot of people, they try to get people who think like them, who act like them, who look like them, and then they only see one side of the issue or one way of solving something. And we need to, if you want to be successful, you need to find people of different caliber and with different perspectives. The other thing is you need to get investors. You need to sell them to become your partners, your supporters, not just putting money in, but putting their time and putting their effort behind you. And then after all of these, good people and good problem, you're going to come up with a product or service, but we'll just call it a product. And you're going to think this is like the best thing. And you're going to create the perfect product. But the reality is that there is no perfect product. Okay? Don't wait for the perfect product. If you wait for the perfect product, you will never ship anything. And until you ship something, you don't know what the customers really think. That's really key. If you get a product, put it out in the market as quickly as possible and get feedback and start changing it and fixing it and adjusting it and optimizing it, because it will not be perfect and it will never be perfect. Right? That's really important to understand, because too many people some of them will also tell me, they say, I need you to sign an NDA before I show you my plan, because it's so top secret, it's so amazingly different. And at the end of the day, it's not. Okay? Everybody's got freaking ideas. Everybody's got ideas. But it's the ability to execute. That's really what separates you. So don't think your product is the thing that's going to separate you, or your secret sauce technology, because somebody else have already done it. They just probably didn't execute as well. They may not be executing as well. They may be executing better than you. But don't hide technology. Get feedback. Get feedback from investors. Give feedback from partners. Maybe even get feedback from what you think might be potential competitors who become your potential partners. And once you have a product that you think is worth unleashing to the world, then make sure you position it properly. Tell the story, right? Being able to tell a story in a way that people remember. Being able to position it in a way that they appreciate the benefits of what you have. That's really key, right? If you just go up and you say, I have widget XYZ and it solves problem ABC, and you're one of 15 people who are presenting at some conference, nobody will remember you. Okay? Tell them a story that they can identify with, that they will care about, or in a way that brings out that benefit to them. Okay? And that's not just for investors, it's for employees, right? It's for the press, it's for channel partners, because you need all of their support to make that happen. And being able to sell and position a product to your first founder group of employees are just as important as getting your investors to come in. So the last thing, persistence. Now, as I said, this is a long journey, and it will, very few companies, there may be one or two that will, hit it big. They got super lucky and right trend, right time, right product, and they go public in a year. But that's probably not 99.999% of the rest of the people. Okay? So being able to keep at it, being able to adjust, right? And when I say persistence, I don't mean selling the same thing and just keep saying the same thing every day. I mean being persistent in that problem that you want to solve with the market you want to attack. But then being able to be flexible, being able to see things from the other side, right? Just like when you see the top of a mountain, it looks really close, it's actually really far away, right? That, you think, I could do that in probably 2 or 3 hours. It's probably 2 or 3 days to get there. And that's true for entrepreneurship as well as for mountain climbing. So make sure you have enough money that you've raised, and get extra money, that more than you think you needed. Make sure that you have the patience of the investors that you've raised money from. Because there's a lot of people who say, some investors, particularly first-time angel investors, don't really understand how long it takes, right? And so in China particularly, I've had cases where I've got an investment, and then 3 months later, I need to buy something. Can I get my money back? And I'm like, no, that doesn't work that way. Right? So make sure that the time horizon of the investors you get money from is the same time horizon you think it's needed to be successful in your venture. So I think it was Steve Jobs that said, what separates a successful entrepreneur from the unsuccessful ones is perseverance. So this is one of the things I think is really key, and too many people kind of stop too early, right? sometimes markets take a long time, a lot longer than you think to mature. So putting that all together, essentially the 8 items: problem, positivity, positioning, purpose, people, persistence, passion, and product. Okay. And even if you've done all of these things and you've done them perfectly, 8 out of 10 of you guys will fail in the first year, right? At least that's what the data says. So maybe not you guys, maybe the average guy, right? So, and you have to do this again and again, okay? This is not something you do once and I've got the perfect product, it's gonna go to market, it's gonna be a hit. It doesn't happen that way. You're gonna have to reiterate this thing 1,000 times before you become successful. So essentially you're at a crossroads where you need to decide. If that's the odds that we are faced with as entrepreneurs, is that something that you still want to do, right? Do you still want to be an entrepreneur? All the people who raise their hands, how many people want to be entrepreneurs now after this talk? Okay, actually a few more. So all right, so I guess that reverse psychology works. All right, so thank you all. That's my 8x8. Thanks.